what? Let's start a bike and see if we can find a little fucking. See if we can find a little rhythm in its run. Trying to find a pair of drumsticks in here. You know what? Thanks. You know, the first motorcycle I ever bought was here in Los Angeles when Nirvana was here recording the record Nevermind, the one that got really popular. I'd always wanted a motorcycle. So I met this dude, this guy Jeff, who was selling this bike that seemed like a perfect first motorcycle, you know? I remember I bought the thing, $800, borrowed the money from our management company. I didn't have the money. Gave it to Jeff, and then I had to ride from the studio called Sound City in Van Nuys back to where we were staying, this place, Oakwoods. And this is before the helmet law. And so I didn't have any helmet. This is like pretty much my first real motorcycle experience on the fucking 101 with no helmet in rush hour, just like, I'm gonna fucking die. I would ride around at night, and I'd ride through the hills, kind of like dreaming about being in a band that made it and having a motorcycle, which every time I ride around the hills in Los Angeles, I think about when I was dreaming about riding around the fucking hills in Los Angeles. So that's kind of how I started riding. The underlying thread from one bike to the next, it all comes down to my wife. She's never been on a bike. I've been riding for 20 years, and she's never been on a bike and is kind of freaked out about being on a bike. So I basically asked my wife, I'm like, babe, what kind of motorcycle do you think you're gonna wanna get on? And she really thought about it for a while, and she couldn't come up with anything. And then one day we were at this diner, and here comes this bright yellow Goldwing trike. It looked like a deer hunting jacket with 3 wheels. I don't know how to explain it. It was the brightest, ugliest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. And she looks at it, she goes, oh, and it's in reverse, beep, beep. And she's like, oh, I'll get on one of those. Played the anniversary show in Milwaukee for the Harley people. I'll be the first one to say, like, put me on a drum set and I'll beat the shit out of it and it's great. Put me in a garage, I have no idea what I'm doing. I was amazed when we went to the headquarters and we went to their factory. You know, they kind of gave us this Willy Wonka tour through the thing. It was awesome, man. The room where they test the sound, it's amazing. It's this massive, massive room. We walked in there and they had a bike in the middle of the room, and the perimeter of the room was, I don't know, 100 microphones all pointed at the bike. And that's where they tweak the sound of the bikes, you know? Because each one has to have that sound. And so, you know, for a guy in a band who has his own studio and pays a lot of attention to everything sonic, that was pretty cool. It's not something that I ever imagined owning. I just always had bikes with 2 wheels, you know? You spend 2 minutes on this bike, and it's pretty much the most fun you've ever had. It handles really well. It's comfortable as shit. It's got a loud fucking stereo on it, and it looks badass. I brought it back to the studio the first day I got it, and everyone spent a good half an hour just sort of standing around staring, wishing that they had one. Whether it's working at home or working at the studio or the family stuff at home. I'm usually pretty swamped, and to have a good hour or so a day just to turn it off and be in your own world makes a big difference, because you come up with lyric ideas, you come up with different rhythms, and I'm constantly humming in my head. It's meditative in a way that you can shut everything out and focus on one thing. And I have come up with a lot of music riding around. You know, it's definitely what I look forward to doing the most.